game number 2. Now going into game number 3, we see the Nocturne taken away, but there are still champions with global pressure on the map. Shen is another one no longer available. WE are going to have to start digging into these champion pools a little bit as we are getting further and further, and this isn't even the last game. The winner of this goes to series point, but it is not the end here.
There you go. That's the big ticket item that we did not see banned away this time. BLG letting it through. They did ban it away last game from blue side. The Rumble for Bin comes out once again.
Yeah, this is what you see with the Vayne cast bans. I'm not really sure what WE is setting up here for in their bans, however. They don't want to play against Nocturne.
They have to go Trundle.
They don't want Vi.
Yeah.
So it is Trundle, like you mentioned, because otherwise you're giving it over. Trundle Rumble is... But Trundle Rumble's really scary. I don't think this is necessarily what WE wanted, because... I mean, Vi Nocturne ban, I mean, maybe it is, but it feels like you're on the back foot in this draft.
It does a little bit. I mean, Rumble is a really powerful slam, right? One of the best champions, one of the highest priority champions in the current meta. We did have a graphic talking about the importance of Sion, if we can float that at some point, I believe in the next game, or if it's already been floated. It is the top laner with the second most priority in the year so far. Rumble is number 1. So Rumble, though, obviously does have its counters. I like this Ornn lock-in, and then like we said, it's got to be the Trundle locked in immediately after. Otherwise, you're just giving an easy subjugate target over to Shun. And then the mid laner is going to be drafted up here. Victor against Aurora. I do favor this matchup over to Karis because he's got that range advantage. And also, the superior scaling on top of that. I think he's way more dangerous come late game.
A lot of mobility out of the setup for mid jungle for BLG, though. Maybe they can use that to their advantage. We go into the second phase, and it is all about bot lane. We get the Lucian ban already by BLG. We had the Caitlyn ban as well by WE.
I'm feeling something like a Nautilus. Zyra Khan looks good this game too. I think Zyra Khan for BLG is really, really scary. A little rough into the Victor range, but I think that when the Trundle's running at you, Zyra's great. I think Rakan is great into Trundle. And also, you can immune the Call the Forge God with the ult from Zyra. So, just the Nautilus band. Lucian is something that has been really not looking too good in the LPL. I think it's 1 in 11. Oh, sorry. No, that's Cass. Cass is 1 in 11. Lucian is 2 in 12. So
2 in 12.
Just close. Pretty close.
Yeah.
Behind that. Oh, dude, maybe you're right. 2 in 10. It's very close. The Lulu pick here. Cogmore. Jinx.
Yunara.
Many options. They're going to keep the counter pick for that too, so they'll be able to at least hold on to that and see what hyper carry you're going to get for a bout. But now it's for the bot lane of BLG and what they want to focus on. Something that's going to be stable, so that maybe even makes a bit of a splash down there, and it could just be that lovers duo.
I do like this a lot. Zyra Khan would be, obviously it's the tried and true duo, right? But then also BLG,
they steal it away.
We don't want to give the Yunara over to about to be paired up with that Lulu, so they are breaking up the duo of Zyra Khan in favor of that denial. They will still, however, pick up the Rakan at the end of the day, so that extra little bit of re-engage, or that extra little bit of just plain engage, I should say, to be paired up with Shun will make these initial snap engages from BLG just that much more potent, and then the follow-up damage from the solo laners going to be stronger as the game goes on and as we start stacking up these items. But WE are going to go the Jinx route. So drop everything we said about Monki in the early plays. Drop all of the scaling on the Victor. It's the Jinx show. Anytime this champion is locked in, the whole game revolves around her.
Yep. And how can WE get resets? There's a ton of kill threat. I think the Lulu into Rakan can be quite nice with the polymorph, although the Rakan is just such a great support pick in this scenario. BLG have to go forward. That's all they do. They go forward. They are going forward the entire game. This is more of a FPS thing, but their finger is glued to the W key. Or right click, I guess, in this scenario. But
we have WASD in League now. They understand.
You can do that. Who knows? Maybe BLG are playing on WASD. But for WE, scale. Just sit there. Don't do anything. Let Monki maybe go for some invades, but even then, maybe have push in mid. That could be nice. But other than that, they just got to survive.
And they've been able to survive. They were able to take a game now off of BLG, and they're looking to repeat what happened in round number 1 of this very playoffs. We have hyper carries in the bot lane, harkening back to what Alk and the Des were talking about, that About was showing some schmoves there in that last game on Ezreal. This time, a lot of weight on the ADC's shoulders on both sides with the hyper carry potential that they both are bringing. We'll see what the jungles have in store for us in the earlier pathing. We saw Monki take a tremendous lead over Shun last game. It definitely led to BLG having a lot of struggles there. And these big ticket items are going to be looking at that bot lane. I think it's going to be a bit of a shift in prio that we've seen in this series so far as we get into the thick of things and into game number 3 between BLG and WE. Gotta love to hear a little bit of the crowd, a little quiet, but it's still there. And the WE BLG story continues. Again, the second time we see this matchup in this playoffs. And it's been an incredible one to see, and one of the best stories in the recent era of the LPL.
And last game, we talked about how Knight was the go button for BLG, right? Whoever this Annie decided to get that point and click stun on was the target BLG had to focus, and the lack of that direction is what contributed to their downfall. In this game, it feels like it's a similar story for WE, but this time, the Annie is the Trundle. You've got the subjugate target. Whoever he ults onto has to be the person the rest of WE snap their abilities in. And it's extra important because, like you said, Jbetto, the resets are going to come through. My biggest concern about this WE comp is not what happens when they can get going. It is about getting going in the first place, finding that initial kill to get the resets, because the single target damage for this WE comp is very lacking. It's got to be the subjugate target that you decide to go onto. That should be your go button and your ticket into the reset city.
Yep, the good news about that, though, is that BLG, no tank. So there are a lot of squishy members that WE can go for. We were talking, Quax, you and I, about Rumble Ruins before the series started. And in this game, Bin's got the first strike cashback. So hoping to play that money printing style against a tank, generate a big lead. Last game, we saw WE shut down BLG in these solo lanes and then play through their jungle, and About was given so much space. And in game 1, it was all about the solo lanes for Bin and Knight. Monki on this Trundle has the potential to really pop off through the early game. I like to call it like the Trundle tax. He walks in, that's his camp. You don't own that camp anymore. It's his. And you kind of have to avoid that, especially on a champion like Wukong. Not the strongest in the early game, and decent with skirmishing when you can use your the W. But straight up in the 1v1 can get completely destroyed. So if BLG can avoid Monki and then start generating gold lead in the side lane, in their solo lanes, then transition it into shutting down the late game from WE, gotta be careful with these solo lanes.
We see the culmination of the first clears from both junglers as Monki patiently waiting on the bot side. Able to dash in, dash out. Monki still holding around. They really want to go for a dive here. He's got the level 4. They're just going to go for it. Viper trying to make a run for it. As On sticks under turret. The split might have just done them justice here, but the polymorph comes through, and now About's going to get excited, but Shun comes over. He's trying to shut it down here on the bot side. He goes for the flash play. Can't do it. About is still free firing now with the lethal tempo activated, and the first blood going to WE onto Monki is massive.
And we had the Shun reaction faces. That's like a meh Shun reaction if ever I've seen one right there, because he commits the flash to try and finish off the kill, but he didn't have the cooldowns up for the Q to finish off just a little bit more of that HP. And yeah,
just very
appropriate reaction there.
Yep. Take a look back at this replay. Monki again, amazing pathing, and this was on a ward. BLG knew at least that Monki was coming. It was spotted by the vision plant. Monki destroyed that ward, then walked in easily for free, and Shun was on his way to cover. 10 seconds too late. And it pays WE with the first blood.
And also, look at where Shun is positioned. I mean, he has to cross all the way back over to the top side to then recycle his respawned camps. And so the junglers are basically on even tempo of one another. That is a huge advantage for Monki as, yeah, On is in mid, but Karis is just going to walk that one off.
He's level 6. Karis is level 6 right now. They have the advantage with the Arcane Storm coming through. Knight's going to be in worse for wear condition here. He does have to flash away. Shun has come once again a little bit behind the play into Monki's proactive jungle pathing.
I mean, we were spending a lot of the early game focus on Monki and then the bot lane. How is Karis up half a level in 5 minutes? What happened in the mid lane trading to allow Karis to be in a position where he has ult there? We will never know, but still, really good laning. Somehow, he's even in CS. It's not like Knight is losing minions, but he is, or was losing XP. Might have just been a big wave that Karis had been freezing, but yep, Flash Force out of Knight.
And I mean, if you thought the gold difference or the level discrepancy in bot lane was bad, or in mid lane was bad, look no further than bot lane. I mean, you're basically 10 CS up. Viper missed that entire wave despite not being the guy that went down in that dive that we saw earlier. And because of the advantage we see in bot lane, Monki just gets a free path toward the dragon.
And the fact that we do see them use this prio gained in the bot side to take the early dragon once again. They're going to be able to set that pace of the neutral objectives. Shun down here to help clear some more of the vision, but that's about all they're going to be able to get off the back of that one. And again, it's early playmaking that makes WE feel like they're coasting.
Okay. Now, this is a little bit more similar to last game for WE, but I think BLG have a lot more tools available to them to force these fights on these level 6 timers. Shun is ticked over, Bin is ticked over, Knight has as well. Once On and Viper reach that level 2, they can really start to force these fights. I would love maybe a lane swap, but the problem is, you got to Rumble. Maybe he can just sit there weak side, ult the wave. But you would love a tank in that scenario if you could send BLG up to the top lane, fight for these grubs when you get level 6, because Viper will get it on this wave, but instead it's just going to be a base from WE.
And look, we see WE's bot lane resetting. On is also moving toward the mid lane. He was initially going toward bot, but I think both teams understand the gravity of giving a Trundle grubs. So they are all gonna get up toward this top side, try and either make that happen or prevent it from being so. And a fight could very easily break out here, but I feel like WE, in terms of early game power, I favor them heavily if there is a skirmish.
Oh, the Mega Death Rocket just stopped Knight's back. I was wondering how early they were going to be able to get that one out because he was pretty low from that trading going on in mid lane. There's also a pretty big XP differential between Erha and On right now. So if you were going to go for this big tussle, it was going to be the wild growth difference, which is a huge difference to have as we see Bin using the equalizer on the minion wave to get that push going.
Sort of a Raptors invade here. Monki says, my camp. BLG say, I don't know about that one.
Sure. I'll take one little nugget on the side. It was like the burnt crisps.
So please,
that are just like
please, take my camp. It's all yours. My entire bot side, that's yours too. You can have it. Bin's doing a good job of getting this gold lead in top, but it isn't going to be... Sorry, it is going to be a little bit if you don't fight grubs before Bin can actually participate in these fights.
For sure.
That's a tough place to be in.
Bin is, I think, really has a monopoly when it comes to priority on this top side, but BLG have had very little interest in actually being able to capitalize on that. There is nobody on BLG around this top side river, and so Monki is going to go in mid lane here. Knight does have ultimate, so should be able to get away. I wonder if he's going to have to even
He's going to go the long con, too. He's just running away. A little bunny. And the tables have turned on the bot side for the first time. It feels like BLG actually have pushed into that 2v2. The grubs going whole-handedly to WE. Knight and Bin can collapse, but Shun's on the other side of the map.
Yep. Looking for a play here.
It doesn't stop against the shield. Huge stuff from Erha there.
That's nice. That's well played. Monki does look like he's going to get the grubs. I think BLG are happy to let this top side play isolated as long as Bin can just sit there. He should be...
Oh, no way! He got it! Oh, no!
Give him the emote. Stutter step on him. There's another bruh moment. We're going to get the third one of those one of these days, potentially. But the bruh moments have definitely reigned supreme.
I can't. Okay, so BLG don't even get some grump soup to go along with the cross-map trade. They're giving up the grubs as well. So the feared Trundle with 3 grubs going to mean that Monki is a lot scarier on the side lane if he chooses to be. On top of the Trundle getting the grubs, a really underrated practitioner of having this buff is also the Victor. With that empowered auto, it means you can really chunk down those turrets with the Touch of the Void added on top of that damage. So more gold into Karis, more gold into the scaling threats, and just it is a lot more difficult for BLG to play out this game with the side lane threat from WE increasing.
And we talked about it from the draft. It was something we set out for WE is they have serious scaling on their side. They just need to make it there. And if you already have a lead, that makes it feel that much better. Imagine a scaling comp like this, getting ahead in the dragon stacking as well. It just plays into their benefit. I gotta say though, is there a moment that BLG just need to put their foot down and say we have to fight, because they have some skirmishing potential, especially once those first items start coming through. But this advantage that WE have can be lasting.
Yep,
but they don't
definitely
have
is
that.
a position.
Yeah,
Position where BLG do have to put their foot down and say, all right, we need to fight. And I think it's the first and second items as they come through for BLG, because you don't want to give. I mean, we were talking, Quax, about the late game scaling of WE. You were, rightly so, very excited about the Jinx's late game, but there's still a Victor, a Lulu, and an Ornn, and a Monki in bot lane.
Oh, Transcend oneself is popped, but Non can't really get out. He gets hit by the trap jaws. He's going to barely make it out. The Grand Entrance barely surviving the Mega Death Rocket hits onto Viper. On barely alive, but he is limping away.
Gone.
But it's all about the bot lane turret. It's all about the gold that seems to be avalanching in favor of WE and Karis. Was seeing if he could catch out a greedy back from BLG.
Hunting with the laser, doesn't manage to find anybody, but yeah, with the grubs, turret is gone. Shun is looking to try and interrupt this dragon, but he's going to be found by Karis here, who just dumps his whole combo onto him.
Loses half his health and Shun can't even go close to the dragon. That just means a second dragon and complete neutral objective control from WE for a second game in a row.
Ben, please help us. You're our only hope right now, because Jinx is up 800 gold. Yeah, Bin Kenobi. And now you're getting land topped on. We need some use of the Force here. I don't know if Bin would be a Jedi. I feel like Bin would... Bin
is a Sith Lord.
Are you about to call him a Sith?
He would be a Sith Lord. What? He absolutely would be.
Yeah, the only guys in my opinion on BLG who are true Jedi is probably Shun and On.
Dude, this is so based. I love
Monkey
that
is
Monkey.
a Sith Lord.
I
That's
love
Sith Lord
that
activities.
Monkey absolutely just flashed that. Oh my God. Will he be punished? Find out next time on the next episode of Ben Kenobi and the Boys, as that will be BLG finding a pick on a monkey.
So, if Ben is Obi-Wan, or Ben Kenobi as
Who's
he is...
Qui-Gon Jinn? Is it Knight?
I was going to say who's Darth Vader, because now I need to know. Monkey's Darth Vader? Is it just this series specific? He has been a bit of a Darth Vader of the LPL playoffs so far.
He has
yeah. But then who's Luke? Like, who defeats him? Yoda? Yoda is Uzi, for sure. Or maybe it's Xiaohu. I don't know.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the older players. This is a very fun activity. I feel like this would be like this would be like a podcast discussion. Low-key. Ulk, put it in the next podcast.
we need to go and like edit their faces onto an entire sequence of Star Wars moments, and we'll see who can be who. But getting back into this game a little bit more as well, with that Rift Herald coming up in about a minute, it is an objective that WE haven't necessarily put the biggest focus on in their track record of the playoffs, but here in this series they were able to get it last game as well and have a little bit of play with that. But we are getting closer and closer to that second item spike for many individuals, and that's where we were saying BLG maybe need to put their foot down. But it's been impressive map control, impressive vision control from WE, and a WE who seems to be alive once again, just like they were in that round one in the previous matchup of this series.
Herald is up in 30 seconds. We can see WE are gravitating toward this top side.
Oh,
Knight is under
Knight?
turret, but is this turret fake at all? We know that Monki really doesn't care about the structures as the Strundle because he's just able to take a bite out of one, and there, boom, a plate is given over.
Shin
I don't know if
holding
Monki cares
back.
about anything.
They want to go for the preemptive play. They want to go for the combo here as they just find Monki outright. Knight takes him off the map. A second kill for the golden left hand.
Well, I was going to say I don't think Monki cares about anything. Your towers, your summoner spells. He definitely cares now as everyone from
Doesn't
BLG
care about
engaged onto him.
life.
But the tools from BLG are down, and there's no
Yeah.
smite. WE could look for an engage with a Call of the Forge God here from Cube.
It'd be a juicy one. They are setting up to just collapse on a cube. He will expertly flash away from that moment. Karis and Erha setting up the
Oh my God, it reset.
re-engage. That's a reset, but it's going to be smote away by Sun. He's going to go get the eye. Now he needs to get out. Ornhorn actually used here, but won't connect on anybody. On's going to find an escape route through his teammates and might be able to finish off that turret with a couple autos.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get this mid-tier one. So they don't get the Herald,
Ooh.
but they do get a little bit more space to be bought with for these future dragons. About looking to take as much health away from Knight as he possibly can. Just getting a couple more autos and a plate on the tier 2
he's going. I saw it in Viper's eyes. He wanted it. He popped the Transcend oneself, saw the shield come through from Erha and backed off. Thought he could get the angle.
Mazel, I'm not letting you get away with saying smote. Is that something you say frequently? I've never heard you say that before.
Yeah.
But you did.
Smitten?
He smote the Herald.
Yeah.
He did. To be
Words.
fair, you're right.
I get to make up words here, don't I?
Yeah.
That's my job.
You definitely can. I'm not fact checking you.
So
That's
what would
something
you,
you'll
would you
realize.
say smitten? Or so like
I would just say
he's
smited.
smited?
That doesn't
That
sound
just
right.
doesn't. It doesn't feel like it has as much weight to it. You know,
Smote
like,
is
when you
tough.
say-
I can't lie. That is hard.
Past tense.
Like
Gotta
smote.
find a way to put past tense.
Yeah, I agree with Lennon on this one. Honestly.
Okay,
I like
okay.
it.
I'll give-
2v1. Americans
give-
versus Australians.
I don't
Something
clutch
we're
that.
gonna
There's
see
too
later
many
on
of
in the
you
World
Americans, all right? I'm by myself. I need some global cast. Get me Hysterics and Atlas, all right? And then I'll take you guys on.
Cup. All right. We'll see. We'll have to have more conversations once we play each other in the World Cup too. Bin is left in the side lane by himself. That is going to be some extra gold going to this Rumble, who finds himself almost 2K up individually. Luckily for WE, the big strength for them is about, and we stated that from the beginning, from the draft, that he is the main focus. Dragon started up by WE.
Yeah, this is Soul Point for WE. It's a Chemtech Soul 2 with a Lulu and an Ornn. You cannot give this away if you're BLG.
can't give
TP in
this.
from Bin.
The Rift Herald play. He's
come
going
down
to
to
go
a
into the
50-50.
pit. He's going to try to smite. It's going to be taken. And this time the Rift Herald is going to be the play, but the Dragon had already been taken by Monki. It's going to be the re-engage now by BLG. Knight looking for the big between worlds. Erha going to flash away now as well. And here comes the Rift Herald play into the turret. He's going to get some gold there, and he's going to go for a secondary charge. Going to try to run down Karis, but he doesn't have any teammates here. He's just going to take the lonely road through the jungle and try to go towards mid lane. But he'll be dumped out and survive. Mega Death Rocket almost takes out Shun. He's on wards, but nobody can really deal with him. The Mega, or at least Mega Death Rocket did go through. The Ornhorn is not available there either. And it's a lot of fireworks for not that much blood.
It's 11 HP that Shun manages to survive with. Knight is going to delay his back to not even really necessarily burn through the Rooker and shield onto Cube. Shows the damage coming through on this Ornn.
Yo, improved blast
wants
cone!
blood.
Oh, I don't know if Ben wants that, though. There's a lot of damage coming back towards him. He does go for the initial engage onto Karis, trying to save the turret, and he does so nicely as both supports also roaming up this way and about moving up here as we go into a replay.
I think this was 40 health that this got smited down to. Smote down to 41. Smote down to 41 health. But the fight from WE is so good. They have the knockup from Lulu, the knockup from Ornn, and yes, it doesn't look pretty on the way out, but they get out. That's all that matters. They're on Chemtech Soul Point, BLG. Like we talked about in draft, they have to go forward. This is all they can do. They can't go backwards. They have to run at you, and you lose the objective, then they run at you, and WE say, bye. 6-7.
6 HP.
All right. And then on top of that, I also want to mention the difference maker between the fight we saw up toward top lane where Monki got bursted down and then the fight on bot side where Monki managed to survive. He gets the subjugate off. If Monki is able to just click R on any of the members of BLG and sap those resistances for himself, it makes it so difficult for BLG to get a pick onto the jungler of WE.
We're looking at picks right now, though. Erha and the rest of WE caught out. They thought they had the play. They thought they had the vision, but it's BLG who chomp right back. The equalizer coming in on the choke point here as Q tries to go for the toss back. Shun's on the back line, but a double grand entrance. Shun's fighting for his life, and the Sundered Sky's doing work as now Ben comes over to try to save him. The chomp is there, though. Monki will get the kill and get out for now. It is a big pick play by BLG who continue to bolster their lead.
Yep, action reaction. BLG managed to finally get a winning play for themselves. Karis, though, showing on map. Big mistake. On is looking for a flank. Bin is in the area, and teleport was committed by Knight.
Oh.
They want the victor.
Oh.
On can't get the engage there. We'll have to back off. The burn won't be enough. It's an attempted play by BLG, and shout out to 1010, my fellow Shun enjoyer, for the photos there. But it's been nice to let's not talk about that.
There's dragging up in less than 2 minutes.
He has 7 titles. I think he's allowed to get away with that.
Is that how it works? You get a specific amount of mistakes per title?
Yes.
Man,
Mm-hmm.
we make way too many mistakes for how few titles some people have, I will say. But as we get back into this replay, this is what BLG want to do. They just want to run at you in a straight line, and when you give on a position like this to land onto your support and your front line, the backline of WE just can't survive. And not only this, Karis is completely split from the entire fight.
I also think that Shun goes a little too far up here. He does get the kill onto a bout, but I think if this Wukong survives the fight, there is a very real chance BLG could have threatened the Baron. So Monki being able to get that kill off and take away the jungler of BLG, I think, dissuaded any notion of that possibility. And now as we go back to live, Soul is on the line. WE, Jbetto, you already talked about how important and how critical it would be if WE managed to get this Soul. A chem tech on a lot of squishy members here for this comp, but most importantly for Monki. The survivability of this Trundle has already been a main thorn in the side of BLG. It would graduate from being a thorn to being a knife? Dagger?
Some kind of sharp weaponry. Speaking of sharp weaponry, WE very close to the 3-item spike for a bout. He wasn't able to complete the IE, and I believe that he just got an upgrade there as well, so he won't actually get the IE upgraded, and it will be this 2 and almost 3-item spike against Viper, who did just complete a big 2-item spike for the Unara. It might be just a push. WE gonna start the Baron.
A 2-man Baron? I mean, BLG have no idea this is happening. They see 3 members of WE on the map. They are immediately... Okay, now they understand. They're crossing over.
Monki can't do this. Monki is getting a little bit low, but they're going to try to burn it. If BLG take a fight here, it could just be all over.
No way.
Is going to make the delay happen, and the Baron secured by WE.
Can you get out?
On doesn't want to let them, and Knight comes over with the Between Worlds. Now they're going to get the double engage, the double cyclone from Shun, but he's getting low. Been waiting for the angle, already burned the equalizer, and WE just made out like bandits.
Dude, that was a heist if ever I've seen one. WE start the Baron as the mid-jungle duo only. And then BLG, too late, realize what's happening. They do get the dragon. They deny the soul for now. But WE, they've got the grubs, and now they've got the Baroned up minions. Monki, wherever he goes, a turret is likely to follow.
Yep. All right, hear me out. Cube upgraded About's Hex Optics, and then About showed on Vision, so that BLG would think, oh, okay, WE have just forced this upgrade. They're going to fight the Soul. And they actually go to the Baron instead. Huge. I have no idea if that was actually intentional. It probably wasn't, but they probably just want the spike as soon as possible. But really good macro from WE. Monki chunked down about 1,000 less, but Baron on 5. I can't believe they were able to get Karis and Cube out of there. Bin pushing on the top side.
Okay, a lot of vision put down by WE. They have so much control right outside of BLG's base. They're pushing with the Baron, and you know what they love? The grubs they had gotten earlier, the Trundle, the Jinx as well, able to just take down turrets left and right. Meanwhile, they're leaving Bin to his own devices up on the top side. It might come back to bite them as he will be looking. Okay, he's going to TP into the fight. Equalizer ready to go. They might try to look for an engage here on the mid lane. Equalizer comes down. Shun goes for the flash plan to About, but About gets wild growth. On goes in over the top as well. The burn. They got About. It's enough. About is down. President is gone, but maybe it's the support staff that might just be enough. The Arcane Storm starting to grow, and BLG starting to lose members as Karis in his first Victor game here is doing wonders. And BLG sent packing. Monki gonna chase down his opposing jungler in Shun, and they're gonna look for more here in mid lane.
And they index all of their resources into getting About. They find themselves in the middle of all the Team WE members with no resources left to take down the remaining players on WE, and they get torn apart. Gentlemen, it is another fight win for Team WE. And Jbetto, this flank teleport, a bit ambitious, but I felt like the idea was right, and this was a Hail Mary play that BLG had to go for.
Yep, the peel onto About is so great, but BLG do finally land onto About. Crucially, though, BLG have to go so far forward, like you mentioned. Shun is low. Knight and Viper are full health, but they're being zoned away by the ult from Karis. It does so much damage. The backline from BLG just cannot participate in these fights. If Shun was healthier, if Knight and Viper were able to hit here, the fight is still on. Shun's died, okay, but Bin falls in trade. That's fine. TP now into top from Cube.
It's going to be Knight with a return TP as well. He is on 2.5 items between worlds under the Equalizer. Erha was the focus. They won't get him. He's still very healthy there.
Look at Shun.
And now you have Shun coming the long play with Viper coming through. You can tell BLG are desperate to make something happen here. They go for this engage, but Shun's by himself in the 3.
Isolated.
He finds 1 kill, finds 2. That's going to be big now as they re-engage with the rest of the team. Viper's in the backline with his transcendent self, but the Arcane Storm is stronger. Haven't you seen Arcane, the hit TV show by Riot Games, as WE find pick after pick against BLG?
I can hear the song. I can hear Victor in my head from Arcane, just hitting me with all of the bars from Fortitia's style of animation. And now BLG, it looks like they're going to be turned into 2D animation as they find the ground is their only destination. WE with an ace and another bruh face from Shun for good measure.
Yep, it's a delayed ace from WE. But it's BLG who are just sending these plays, and the engage is not bad, but there's just too much damage this late in the game from WE. Shun goes in, finds a kill under Erha, and Viper does so much damage, but the fight is split. Cube is zoning away, and the Victor and the Trundle in the late game just do so much damn damage. Bin, despite this gold lead that he's built up, what happened after game 1? We just can't find anything in this series.
It's such an insane way for this series to go.
This is
look at that
in the
damage.
rematch. They're on the Soul.
The Soul's already going down too. They're going to deny them from even getting in the pit.
Gone.
Shun just has to run away.
He can't do it.
The Chemtech Soul taken by WE, and now a 3,000 gold lead for this team that seems to be on the brink.
They've got Chemtech Soul. Barrett is up in 30 as well. There is nothing stopping them from taking control of the mid wave, from fixing the top wave, from carving out this topside river full of vision and making it impossible for BLG to contest. If they ever walk up to this topside, they will likely meet a gray screen. WE, the extra survivability of the Chemtech Soul. Now we're going to put it to the test, and Monki is unafraid.
They're going for the initial engage here. Knight forced to use Between Worlds to get away, and BLG have no confidence in their fight. We said it from the draft. It was scaling. It was about getting there for WE. Well, we're there, Jbetto.
Yep, and this Chemtech Soul makes it so much harder for WE to die. BLG, they have to go forward. That's all they can do. Bin's caught.
Bin can't do anything. He has to flash over the wall there. The beautiful pillar coming through. Karis actually looking for a bit of an angle there himself. It's a weird flank situation for BLG on a deep flank. BLG look like they want to send it again. There's the equalizer on top of the Cyclone, but Shun is just dead to About, and now About's going to get excited, and WE fans might as well too. Mega Death Rocket barely dodged out of, but the Baron is in the eyes of WE.
It is indeed WE, a team who so many people thought their first best of 5 win against BLG was a fluke. Story of the tournament and one of the biggest upsets to happen in the LPL in recent memory. But that same result would not be replicated, would not be repeated, and WE are showing that that is not the case. They've got the Soul, they've got the Baron, they've got almost 5,000 gold in the lead, and a win here would put them at series point and 1 win away from getting to MSI, a first for every single one of these players.
Yep. And remember, BLG smashed WE in game 1 of this series, and WE have found a great bounce back too. Look, BLG have engaged, but the engage just dies. Shun goes in, great Cyclone, and then he just gets destroyed by Jinx. And once the reset is claimed by About, there's just nothing you can really do. I mean, we've hit full Lake Him stride. Regardless of Baron or Soul, this Jinx has 4 items. This Victor, I assume, is completed all his stacks long ago. All these Ornn upgrade items coming through, these ornaments coming through. And for BLG, this lead on Bin is great, but no one else really had a lead in this game. Knight, 5-1. It feels like he's been relatively quiet despite the kills.
And now we take a look at this desperate defense from BLG as they try to take care of the Baroned up waves that are going to be coming at their turrets for about another minute and 20 seconds. The siege with these grubs, with this team comp, is just so hard to deal with. You see Viper able to do a decent amount of damage there. Monki going to slow down a couple, and On's looking for a big flank. The ward over the wall, though, and the flash grand entrance trying to get Erha, but it's really Karis that's the big focus because the Arcane Storm is growing once again. It's his first victor, and it might just be the worst one that BLG have ever faced because they are dying to it left and right. Do you believe one more time that WE can make it to MSI, can make it to their first finals? They're on match point.
What is happening in this series? BLG pick WE apart in game 1, and in back-to-back games in 2 and 3, WE completely turn it around with some awesome play from Monki through the early game, some great, team fighting with About, and that game was amazing with the peel.
I absolutely loved it. It was another case of the Monki show in full force with that Trundle, being able to make proactive plays around the map, interrupt Shun's game plan. And one more game, one more win for WE, and they get to go to their first international the organization has seen in 9 years. It has been last time it was 2017 Worlds. It would be monumental for the organization, for the players. It would be the story of the tournament and one of the big stories going into the international if it did happen. A shock to everyone around the world, and one win is all that separates all of this hype from getting a conclusion and the rematch win against BLG.
Well, let's go ahead and hear from our desk as they break down that game number 3.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, well, you're not supposed to get fooled again, but WE might be pulling out a second rabbit out of the same hat, going to match point against BLG. Trip to the grand finals with one more win. Alk, this has been an incredible series to watch, and just really great gameplay, specifically from players that we weren't necessarily expecting to show up today. Karis on that Victor, man. What a performance.
2 best of 5s in a row now. I did not think it would be Karis getting the best of night, but we're seeing it here. And, I was kind of making a joke before the series of like, hey, if we get, if the Aurora and the Victor are gone now, like this is maybe a potential to kind of squeeze a little bit on Karis' champion pool, but he's performing. The team is all there behind him, and I'm worried. I'm absolutely worried not only for BLG, but what the international fans are going to say when we send Monki over to Korea.
Oh my god. The implications of this are absolutely unbelievable. Like, I mean, just in general, I mean, we're sitting at 2-1, obviously, but even if we just get a finals that's WE, and that's my camera, we can still fade into
God is coming down
light,
saying BLG
we're
sending him into the side.
into the abyss right now, but WE proving that they can win on, like, any comp. Like, genuinely any comp. Because this is, I mean, the Trundle, obviously, very Monki, very, you know, what they do. Karis carrying on Victor, about being able to play Jinx and being able to survive the early game using Lulu's pressure, Cube just not throwing it away on the top side. Like, yeah, like this is exactly what I needed to see to believe that WE could win this series.
Take a look at the damage charts here. I think basically our entire game, we were focusing on about, hey, if BLG can get this Jinx and kill her before a team fight begins, they can win the fight with their scrappy team composition. But there was another backline carry that really was able to show up, and that was Karis on the Victor. A lot of those big team fights came in. BLG did get the Jinx. They killed about, and then Karis basically was able to take over from there because all the tools were used on getting the Jinx.
This is the threat of this comp, right? When you draft something that is very, very scaling oriented, you run into the problem where, okay, well, maybe we have to worry a bit in the early game, but you look across the rift at what BLG drafted as well. I mean, they're drafting Yunara, they're drafting Rumble, they're drafting Aurora, they're also drafting a lot of champions that need some time in order to get online and to be as useful as maybe they want to be. You have the luxury of being able to get Jinx super fed in the early game because of a couple of mistakes on the bottom side, but it's not a Jinx comp. It is a team fight comp. Victor is massive here. My biggest concern coming out of draft was not that Victor was useless, was that is Karis a good enough Victor player to pilot this champion to success in a series against BLG? All of those doubts were completely erased in this game. About was a decoy. I mean, Karis was the real carry despite the gold lead going bot side early.
Yeah, and we actually had another Telestrator segment set up here, so let's see if okay. I wanted you all to just look at me for a second. Sorry about that. And that's still the wrong one. Wait.
Oh, no. Not
there you
again.
go. Yeah, and it's happening again to Graves.
It's the same one?
It's the same one. All right, so real quick, there's a couple of things that are happening all at the same time here in this play. We see that Shun currently is walking up to topside Scuttle. We are going to notice during this play that Trundle hits the Scryer's Bloom. They know that he is here. As soon as Shun is recalling and finishing his, he should be walking bot. Now, I'll pause this real quick as I fail to remember that this is a media player. There are two things that are happening here to Shun. His bot lane is saying, Trundle is going to be here, and I need to show up to protect them. But they also are maybe saying, we have double flash, we have our ghost, and I have topside camps to get to. His Gromp is going to respawn once we get into this clip, further into this clip. So, as a jungler, he is probably saying, I'm going to go topside, Rumble's going to TP back, and I'm just going to clear down, and we'll look to play around the dragon that's spawning in a minute and a half. However, as soon as Trundle gets spotted on this part of the... Once he shows up here, look at where Shun is going. He's booking it bot lane right now. He's already way too late to this play, and by the time he gets here, he loses his flash, his bot lane has lost summoner spells, gold, experience, and the entire play is cooked at this point. This is such a big win here for WE, and I don't really want to fault Shun for all the bad things that are happening, but it is clear that there is some kind of miscommunication happening at a much grander level here for BLG.
Get our player of the game here. Hold on. My notes say Jungle Diff, I think here. Monki played pretty well, but the player of the game going to Karis, his third MVP of the season. Yeah. You see two of them this playoffs. He's really turned it up, K-Man, since we have gotten into this bracket stage.
Karis outplaying Knight for a potential spot at MSI was not on my bingo card. Like, it was not anywhere in the proximity of what I was looking for. Karis has been massive so far in both of the last two games. If that happens again, I mean, Knight is the reason that this team is so close to the finals, that they have been so good in this lower bracket, that they've been so consistent throughout the regular season. You take away that advantage, we're already seeing other parts of the map start to win. It can get very scary very fast.
And win, by the way, but we're going to get into in a bot spotlight here, but when are we going to just start believing that WE are going to do it? When is it no longer just a random upset? When is it now, hey, they're actually just playing better than their opponents? BLG have not evolved meaningfully enough, and the opponents that they win against in JDG and AL were teams that were floundering.
Those are all fair points. And for BLG, we thought that those wins against theoretically stronger opponents were going to mean that they could have a better time here against WE. But maybe the strongest opponent really is just WE. That's what we're all going to have to consider. And the way that they're playing right now, the fact that they're beating these top teams like BLG, like AL, means that they could be a real threat at the international level. We have a couple of these team fights that we want to break down a little bit as well, just to showcase what exactly WE was able to do right in these situations. And K-Man, I think a lot of it starts with what About was able to do on this Jinx, and after that it was Monki. Sorry, I should say it was Karis who was able to really step up to the plate in the late game.
Yeah, I mean, Jinx was massive here early. I think the Lulu was actually very secretly a bit of a carry in the early part of this game because you get so much lane priority when we're talking about the setup for these dives. A lot of them are available because Lulu is so aggressive and can really out-tempo this Rise in the 2v2. Once you get to the point where the Jinx has a massive gold lead now, you feel comfortable really going backwards. I think this comp is really well set up, and it functions well at being able to make sure that somebody is in a good spot. Now, About was getting dove on by all of the engage on the other side, the Wukong, the Rakan, even the Aurora at times was finding the backline, but you can't get on both Victor and the Jinx at the same time. BLG basically had to pick their poison, and at the end of the game, WE were just making better calls. The fights that they were taking, obviously this Baron call is unbelievably good. Just understanding that Jinx, yeah, I mean, Jinx is perfect to be able to kind of rush a Baron like this, and you get out all 5 members. It's just absurd. But on top of that, even the fights that they did take later on in the game where Shun's finding the backline and getting these knockups on Wukong, they were taking them in areas that they had set up for 30 minutes, that they had prepped, and that's exactly what you need to see. About has been massive in terms of the early game leads he's been able to generate for this team. An 870 gold difference at 15 is absurd going into Viper.
And
no notes.
Yeah, he's been really strong, and again, just the growth that we've seen from this guy going from his rookie split in Split 1 where there was really not a ton to be excited about to now here in the playoffs turning into one of the best performing AD carries in the entire playoff bracket. And going up against Viper and On, who are both named to both R and the main broadcast LPL All-Pro first team, really goes to show what him and Erha have been able to do. This duo of younger players coming in to kind of fill in for what this core of WE was able to do last year. It's been very exciting to see this bot lane step up, and they're going to be a big story if this team is able to make it further on.
All I know is that thank you, Weibo, for doing this. This is all Weibo's doing. Somehow this always comes back to them. Whether this was them making the World Finals a couple of years ago and beating BLG in a massive upset, or kicking Erha after trying to fix what was a problematic bot lane, and now they gave us the best run I think we have seen in playoffs in a very long time here. WE are now on the precipice of doing what was maybe 3 hours ago the unthinkable, but is now very much a reality here in sending our first seed down to the third team. You're the third best team